Hi, I'm Mike Bellevue, and as most of you know, I'm the black powder editor for Guns of the Old West magazine. And this week I'm going a little bit farther back than the Old West. I'm going to the Old West here in the East. I'm at the Fort Frederic Market Fair, 18th century camp. And you can see in the background, this is my camp right here. I camp in an area called the Cove, and we'll give you a little tour around. A lot of 18th century forts look like this. This is Prickett's Fort in West Virginia. It was privately built during the Indian times. And as you can see, it's made out of logs, and it was the best that people could do on the frontier at the time. Fort Frederick is quite a bit different. It was actually built by the province of Maryland, and as you'll see, it's much more substantial. This is the bastion of Fort Frederick. It was built in 1756 after Braddock's defeat to protect the western Maryland frontier from Indian attacks, and it's been totally restored. It's a beautiful fort. During the French and Indian War, Fort Frederick was manned by about 200 troops. They were regular army, British Army, but they were recruited in the province of Maryland. And right now, we'll see some reenactors who are portraying those troops, and they're actually living in the fort this week. And a lot of reenactment groups actually come here and man the fort at different times in the year. It's encouraged, and it's really pretty neat.
Company, take care. Two strokes, march.
Well, here's a little fast 360-degree view of the inside of the fort. You'll see two buildings in here, and they were enlisted barracks and storerooms and workshops. And there's a third building that hasn't been built yet that would have been officers' quarters, and that would have been against the back wall of the fort. So we'll take a look in a few of these old buildings and see what these guys had to live with. All right, this is one of the barracks buildings, and the troops manning the fort are actually living in here this week, and it's not bad. It's kind of cozy. Let's take a look at some of the other public rooms here. Here's where they would have prepared food for the garrison on the fort. And as we look around, you know, it certainly doesn't have all the conveniences of 21st century life, but man, it beats the heck out of crouching under a tree in the rain. This is a pretty comfy place for the 18th century. Maryland provides interpretive rangers who can explain the history of the fort and answer any of your questions here. And they're all in period dress and try to maintain their personas. The campground of the Fort Frederic Market Fair. This is part of it. It stretches quite a ways. And it's getting on towards evening. People right now are, for the most part, gathering together, having dinner, getting ready to sit around the fire and just enjoy their night. This is my neighbor's camp, David Crispin, and he and another fella are in this shelter doing a long hunter camp. As you can see, they got a fire pit right inside the shelter, and a pretty cozy little arrangement, because believe me, it has been cold. These are just a couple of little half shelters they've put together, and they're probably sleeping more comfortable than me. Could have used that fire last night. It was 33 degrees. There's always a pretty big Scottish contingent at the Fort Frederic Market Fair. And you'll also find Native American reenactors there. Well, this is a view of the main Sutlers area here at the Fort Frederic Market Fair. This is where all of the vendors show up, and we'll go take a look at one of them. Since this is a market fair, there's a big emphasis on buying and selling, shopping, and some of the vendors are just regular Joes who haul their stuff out of their tents every day, and others are well-established sutlers with brick-and-mortar businesses somewhere else. Now, some of the shops are just salesmen, but some of these people are true craftsmen who can take a pile of raw horns like this and make things that you just wouldn't believe out of them. This is a small sample of some of the custom 18th century work that you could buy here at the market fair. There's just all sorts of things, from soup to nuts, and all period correct. I can't make the trip out here without buying something for myself. This was a shooting bag and powder horn that I picked up from a couple of the craftsmen here at the fair. Well, the fair's over for this year, but I'm already looking forward to next year's market fair. Who knows, maybe I'll see you out there.